Hey, good morning YouTube. How you guys doing today? It is me again, your favorite Texas trucker. I am in Illinois on my way to Cherokee, Alabama. And I got just a short subject I want to talk to you about right now. It's about trainers. Alright. When you go to truck driving school, now if you've already got experience, over years experience, you more than likely won't have to deal with any trainers. But if you don't have over years worth of experience and you're getting into this trucking industry by going through a trucking school, or in our particular case, the MTI, which is the Neill Training Institute, after your initial training, you're going to be given a trainer, all right, or assigned to a trainer. And at Millis, you're going to go out with that trainer for 15,000 miles minimum.
In 1 mile, keep left to I-94.
And this is a pretty big misconception with Millis trainees. And that's the fact that they're like, oh, it's 15,000 miles and then I'm in my own truck. And it's not necessarily the case. 15,000 miles is the minimum. Alright, on the best case scenario, you'll finish your 15,000 miles and then your next load or the load after that will take you to a training terminal where you can get tested out and assigned to your own truck. But that's the best case scenario. On the worst case scenario, you could be out in the truck for as much as 30,000 miles. If you're not grasping the concepts well enough for your trainer to believe that you're able and capable to be out on your own in a truck and do the job that you're hired to do, then you're not going to get released. You're not going to get let go, and you're going to stay in that truck until your trainer decides that you are eligible for a truck. Okay. Now, with that said, Millis has some really, really good trainers. Okay. They've also got some really, really bad trainers, and I'm not going to name any names, even though I know a few on both sides of the fence. What I am going to do is tell you that when you get into this training part of your program, that regardless of whether you get a really good trainer or a really bad trainer, you need to do the best that you can do to make it work. All right, you need to try to work out any conflicts that you may have with your trainer. All right, you need to talk to him, communicate with him, try to meet some kind of common ground, and continue your training. On the best case, if you do a decent job and you pick things up quick enough, and you learn how to shift and you learn how to back, and you get everything down and you get your CDL and you pass the road test with no problems. Best case scenario is you're going to be in the truck with this guy or this gal for 5.5 to 6 weeks. All right. Worst case scenario is it could be 10 to 11 weeks. All right. But after that, you're going to test out, you're going to get in your own truck, and you never have to deal with this person ever again. By all means, if you like them, and y'all got along, because we do have some great trainers, stay in touch with them. Those guys are there not just to train you in your initial time as a trainee, but they're there to help you, in the first few months as you're out there on your own, getting acclimated to the job, because there's going to be places that you're going to go by yourself that that you're not going to go as a trainer. In a trainer's truck, and you might not be familiar with some of the things. By all means, call him and ask him. He'll help you. If he doesn't know, then he can direct you, where you can find that answer. But ultimately, it's the trainer's job to teach you everything that you need to know goes for any company that you're at. I've said before that I won't really speak on the training programs of other companies because I haven't personally on film. I don't know anything about them, and and I maintain that today. I'm not going to speak on training programs of other companies. Now, there is a company out there that has a training program that I absolutely detest, and the reason I detest it is because I have a close friend of mine who went to work for that company, and ever since he went there, he's been getting screwed around. A good part of the reasons that he's been getting screwed around is because the training is so abysmally bad that he was never prepared for any of the stuff that he ran into once he became a solo driver. And I've spent a lot of time trying to help him out as best as I can without knowing all of his company's policies. In the process, I've learned about his company's policies, and I've learned about some of the ins and outs and the workings of his company, and I don't like any of it. So I'm not going to name the company. If he sees this video, if he's still watching my videos, and I'm not sure if he is or not, because he's already become a truck driver and he's established with a company now, so he may not find any use in my videos anymore. But if he sees it, he'll know who he is. And I hope that his situation changes pretty soon because he's a damn good dude and he's really trying hard to be the best driver that he can be. He's just had to do it, with an uphill battle the whole way because his trainer didn't prepare him. All right. With that being said, I want to say that in Millis we have really great trainers. I want to restate this. And we have some really bad trainers. All right. A lot of drivers or a lot of trainees, they get into a trainer's truck and they're under this impression that their whole livelihood depends on that trainer. Okay. That they can't speak out against him. They can't make a complaint against him. Because he can screw their whole life up. And I will say that if you buck up against your trainer, and if you push a complaint against him, it is going to create some issues. Nothing major. You will get through it. They'll put you on another trainer's truck, and then you'll complete your trainer with somebody else. However, what I do also want to say is that Millis only knows what Millis is told. Okay, that's the only thing they know. If you're having problems with your trainer because he's being verbally abusive, or he's treating you like crap, or whatever the case may be, if you're having those issues with him and you can't resolve them with him, Millis is only going to know about that issue if you say something. All right? If you don't say anything and you don't make a complaint against that trainer, then he's going to move on to the next student, treating the next student the same way. All right? And he's going to continue to do that until enough people complain against him that Millis finally pulls him from the training program. So, my first advice is to deal with it, if you can deal with it, to try to come to some kind of common ground. But if you cannot deal with it, call Mike Millis and tell Mike Millis what's going on. Tell Mike Millis that you can no longer deal with this dude again, and that you need to be in a trainer's truck. Don't make anything up. Don't fabricate anything. Also, I would advise that, we've all got cell phones, and when something abusive like this begins happening, I would advise that you report it, all right? Because there's going to come a point where Mike Millis and you are going to have to sit down with your trainer, and you're going to have to tell Mike Millis in front of your trainer what the problem is. And your trainer is going to deny it, and he is going to say that you're lying, and he is going to say that, he's going to make up some things about you. But if you have that recorded on video, or if you have that recorded on audio, audio, there's no lying there. There's not any lying involved in that. Okay, it's there clear as day. All right, and again, I want to state that if you can work it out, because sometimes it's just a personality conflict, you know, and most of our trainers are pretty good people. But if you can work it out, then work it out. If you can't work it out, get it recorded and make a complaint. And sooner or later, they're going to have to get rid of these trainers that are acting like this. We don't have many of them, you know, but we do have some. And they honestly need to be dealt with. And the only way they're going to be dealt with is if enough people make complaints against them to force the company to deal with them. All right? And that's with any company that you go to. That's not just at Millis. I talk about Millis because that's where I'm at. That's not just at Millis. You do that at Schneider. You do that at Swift. You do that at Warner. You do that at Knight. You do that, you know, at any company, CR England, at any company that has a training program. All right, then you want to and you need to stand up for yourself, because nobody deserves to be treated like garbage. And a trainer that you know, treats you the way that some of these trainers, the way I've seen some of these trainers treat people, they don't need to be in that position. It's an abuse of their authority. It's an abuse of their power. You know, and there comes a point where part of the trainer's job is to push you. Part of the trainer's job is to you know, is to see how far you're able and capable of going. And part of the trainer's job is so that you see the hardest part of this life, and you know, if you're not going to make it, then it's going to break you. Right? And their job is not to break you, but their job is to push you in some instances to that limit, so that when you are out here on your own, you know what to expect and you can deal with it. All right? But there comes a point where instead of helping you to find your limitations and helping you to make a decision on whether this is really the job or lifestyle for you, there comes a point when that becomes abusive, and when that's just a matter of them just trying to push you out because they're being dicks. And at that point, you know, there needs to be something to be said about it. There's going to be some people that aren't going to agree with this video. You know, there's going to be some people that, you know, that are going to say that you guys that have these complaints are just a bunch of whiny babies, you know. And in some cases, I'm not going to lie, in some cases that's the truth, you know. In some cases, you just shouldn't be out here. It's not a job for you. And yeah, you are whining for nothing. And if that's the case, it's going to come out. But there are more cases where, you know, the trainer is just flat out being abusive, and that just should not be allowed, and somebody should do something about it. So that's just what I had to say this time. All right, y'all take care. Peace out.